Brothers and sisters, good morning. I would love to begin my homily by mentioning three quotes, each from former presidents of this great United States. The ear of the leader must ring with the voices of the people. That's by Woodrow Wilson. The next, motivation is the art of getting people to do what you want them to do because they want to do it. And the next one, use power to help people. For we are given power not to advance our own purposes, nor to make a great show in the world, nor a name. There is but one just use of power, and it is to serve people. And this was mentioned by George W. Bush. Friends, leadership involves sacrifice. To allow and encourage people to move forward can be tough, especially when there are many circumstances to navigate, especially when there are pains, especially when there are tons of hurt, headaches, inadequacies, and tons of situations that just don't go our way. But there are many styles of leadership, some appropriate depending on the various stages and settings, some more appropriate than others. Some bosses can be micromanagers. Others like to empower and expect you to rise up to the call. There are visionaries, there are coaches, servant leaders. Some leaders are autocratic, democratic, transactional, and there are even situational type leaders. All have their advantages and disadvantages. For instance, I'm laid back, kinda. You'd probably have to ask my siblings for a better answer. And I'm usually slower to correct because I expect people to observe and rise to the challenge. Now, that can be great, but after being patient for a while, I would say a long while, I might not be happy with the productivity, and I may look for ways to empower without being mean. Once again, reference my siblings. Nonetheless, the most important part of leading is understanding the people, meeting them where they are, inspiring a culture of unity, and leading them towards a goal. No one likes a mean boss, yet there is always a common goal. Friends, Christ is the good shepherd that knows us well. And analogously, Christ is the voice that his sheep knows and understands because he is that which is most genuine. Would you like to know the qualities of a real sheep, of a real life sheep? I'm going to tell you anyway. They are fearful and easily panicked. They are dumb and gullible. They are vulnerable to mob mentality. They have little means of self-defense, i.e., they like to run. They are killed easily by enemies. They are jealous and competitive for dominance. They are vulnerable to die of starvation if they're not flipped off of their backs by their shepherd, and they need the most care out of all livestock. Now, does this sound quite familiar to other species of living beings? I'd like to think so. We human beings are seemingly smart, seemingly all-knowing, and seemingly awesome, but we sure are limited by a lot of things. Who can save us? Who can redeem us? None other than the Anointed One, who has come to make a home in our hearts. Friends, not following Christ is our death. And according to those analogies, friends, there is no hope outside of the love of God, our shepherd. Where else can you go? This God of ours has come into the world to empower his sheep and called us out of darkness to light. And in this calling, or vocation, hint, hint, we are meant to first and foremost respond to the love of God, and consequently share this love of God with the rest of his people. This may take the form of a priest, for instance, where one offers his life for the world as an intercessor between God and man, just like Jesus. It's a beautiful reality that keeps me going and keeps me motivated, even when I'm scheduled for a 7 a.m. morning mass on a Sunday. Whew, it's kind of hard to get up for. It keeps me strong and motivated, even when Father Houston hears people confess the sins of other people in the confessional. I know, right? Would you believe that? That doesn't annoy any of us at all. However, no matter what, none of us can lead well without being a follower. This idea is more than just another way to effectively rise to the top. Rather, it illustrates the way we are called to serve now, no matter the state that we are in. We are followers of the one who truly leads. He is the good shepherd who brings us back to health, who brings us back to happiness, who leads us back to security, who leads us back to him. He leads us to fulfillment even when we forget the way. Jesus is the true leader, the true ruler of our souls, who reminds us of who we are and empowers us to reach our full potential as sons and daughters of God. Such kind of leadership, friends, is effective because Jesus has no need to boast of himself and his accomplishments, because a person that knows who he or she really is has no need to prove it to anyone, unless you are, in fact, powerless or threatened. Jesus, my friends, is neither powerless nor is he threatened. He knows your souls and everything about you and simply wants you to be free. My last presidential quote comes from Calvin Coolidge, who mentioned the following: "No person was ever honored for what he received. Honor has been the reward for what he gave." On this Good Shepherd Sunday, my friends, who is the Lord calling you? How is the Lord calling you to shepherd his people? How is he calling you to lead? How is he calling you to give of yourself? How is he calling you to live your life as an instrument of grace? If you don't know already, listen up, for God is certainly calling. Will you answer?